morning to all of our students. I am Dr. Umar Nazir, working as demonstrator in the Department of Community Medicine, Government Medical College, Srinagar. Today I will be taking a session on iodine. This will be the subtopic of the ongoing series on nutrition, which has been covered previously by my fellow demonstrators, Dr. Sabira and Dr. Hilal. Learning objectives for this session will be to understand the importance of iodine, to know about the sources of iodine, to know about the iodine deficiency disorders, and to know about the gradings of Guaita as classified by the WHO, and also to know about the preventive and control measures in iodine deficiency disorders. Before introducing this trace element, we must know there are more than 50 elements in human bodies that are required for growth, repair, and regulation of vital body functions. These elements have been divided into three major groups: major elements, trace elements, and trace elements with no known function. Among the major elements, there we have calcium, phosphorus, sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Amongst trace elements we have iodine, iron, fluorine, zinc, copper, cobalt, chlorine. And there are some trace elements with no known functions like mercury. Now about iodine. Iodine is an essential trace microelement. It was discovered in 1811 by Courtius, a Frenchman, that iodine is present in the body in a very small amount, 15 to 20 grams, and necessary for the synthesis of thyroid hormones. Iodine is a crystalline solid, grayish black in color, never found in nature uncombined. Natural sources of iodine are food and water. It's necessary for the synthesis of thyroid hormones T3 triiodothyronine and T4 thyroxine, which are essential for the normal metabolism of the body, growth of our body, development, and well-being of all the human beings. Now about the sources wherefrom we get this iodine. As I have already told you that iodine is a crystalline solid, grayish black in color, never found in nature uncombined. Natural sources of iodine are food and water. And the rich and the best source of iodine we get are from the seafoods, sea fish, shrimps, prawn, crab, oyster, lobster fish, and vegetables grown on iodine-rich foods. Cereals, pulses, fruits, and vegetables constitute the common source, and the iodine content of these depend upon the iodine content of the soil. The iodine content of fresh water varies from 1 to 50 milligrams per liter. Thus, 19% of the iodine requirement is obtained from the foods we eat, and remaining 10% from water we drink. It is the iodine content of the soil which determines the presence in the food and water. Thus, deficiency of iodine is geochemical in nature. Daily requirements of iodine in micrograms per day are: for adults, it's 150 micrograms per day. For pregnant women, it's 200 micrograms per day. From 0 to 11 months of infants, it's 50 micrograms per day. And from 12 months to 59 months of age group, we need 90 micrograms per day. And for school children, it's 120 micrograms per day. Before knowing about the factors that lead to the iodine deficiency disorder, my dear students, I want you to know about the problem statement across the globe about the iodine deficiency. Iodine deficiency poses a major global threat to health and development because it's the most common cause of preventable mental impairment worldwide. Globally, 1.88 billion people are at risk of iodine deficiency. About 241 million school-age children in the age group of 6 to 12 years old have reportedly poor iodine intake, of which nearly 32%, approximately 76 million, live in Southeast Asian countries. In our country also, the most recent sample survey done in 390 districts across all the states and union territories showed that 333 districts are endemic for prevalence of iodine deficiency disorders, where the prevalence is more than 5%. It further states that iodine deficiency is not confined to the sub-Himalayan belt and is prevalent across the country, with no state or union territory being free from iodine deficiency disorders. Now about the factors leading to iodine deficiency disorder. Iodine deficiency is a multifaceted problem with ecological, socio-economical, and developmental connotation. In ecological factors, as we are seeing, there is increasing deforestation, heavy rainfalls, melting of glaciers leads to increased flooding and erosion of topsoil, which washes away the iodine, thereby making the soil and eventually the crop grown in that soil deficient of iodine. Intake and absorption. Iodine metabolism is adversely affected by insufficient intake of iodine from foods, interaction with possible goitrogens, example cassava, sorghum, sweet potato, cabbage, cauliflower, brocoli, turnip, soy, and millets, and exposure to cyanogenic compounds. It must, however, be understood that goitrogens are usually active only if iodine supply is limited and goitrogen intake is of long duration. Other factors in addition to them are unregulated use of pesticides, unclean drinking water, and exposure to endocrine disruptors and industrial pollutants like phthalic acid has been implicated as potential factors resulting in iodine deficiency. Deficiency of micronutrients like selenium, iron, and vitamin A may also exert goitrogenic effect in areas of iodine deficiency. My dear students, the spectrum of iodine deficiency disorder is very broad. It ranges from Guaita, hypothyroidism, impaired mental function, mental retardation, and physical subnormality, myxomatosis cretinism, dwarfism, psychomotor defects, deaf mutism, spastic diplegia, squint to abortions, stillbirths, congenital anomalies, increased perinatal and infant mortality, which are completely preventable but usually not treatable. Intelligence coefficient among people living in iodine deficient areas have been found to be lower by up to 13.5 points as compared to those living in iodine deficient areas. Iodine deficiency among pregnant women, especially during the first and second trimester, may adversely impact fetal and perinatal outcomes, including thyroid function and neurological development. Here you can see that in this table we have put physiological groups and the health consequences of iodine deficiency. Amongst all ages, you can see the health consequences are goiter, hypothyroidism, increased susceptibility to nuclear radiations, In fetus, it can lead to spontaneous abortions, stillbirths, congenital anomalies, or perinatal mortalities. In neonates, we can see that there may be the health consequences like endemic retinism, including mental deficiency, with a mixture of mutism, spastic dysplasia, squint, hypothyroidism, and short stature, and there are increased chances of infant mortality also. In children and adolescents, we can see it had the health consequences of goiter, impaired mental function, delayed physical development, and sometimes iodine-induced hyperthyroidism. In adults, we can see we can have goiter, hypothyroidism, delayed physical development, and iodine-induced hypothyroidism also. My dear students, as we came across the broad spectrum of the iodine deficiency disorder, goiter is one of the commonest manifestations of this disorder. Goiter commonly develops as a result of iodine deficiency or inflammation of the thyroid gland. It's a non-neoplastic, non-inflammatory, and non-toxic swelling of the thyroid gland. Goiter was also called Galganda by ancient Hindu physicians Sushruta and Charaka in 500 BC. Goiter can occur due to presence of goitrogenic substances such as thiocyanates and cycloglycosides in foods like cabbage, cauliflower, radish, turnip, which I have already told to you in my previous slides. These substances interfere with iodine uptake in the thyroid gland and can play a contributing role in development of the iodine deficiency disorder, especially the goiter. In this slide, before learning the grading of goiter as per WHO classification, we must also know about the neck inspection and palpation, which is done routinely as a part of goiter survey, is used to describe the goiter grade. To assess goiter, volume of the lateral lobe is compared to the terminal phalanx of the subject under investigation. If the volume of each lateral lobe is greater than the phalanx being compared, thyroid gland is labeled as goitrous. According to the WHO, goiter is classified into 3 grades upon local physical examination, which is as follows. Grade 0, thyroid gland is neither palpable nor visible. Grade 1, goiter that's palpable but not visible. Examination is done with neck held in the normal position. Grade 2, thyroid that's clearly visible with neck held in the normal position. These are the 3 grades of goiter as per the WHO classification. In addition, volume of thyroid is measured using ultrasonography. Thyroid stimulating hormone serves as a sensitive indicator of iodine levels among newborn. In the infant's first week of life, iodine deficient infants have raised serum TSH concentration, which are known as transient newborn hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidopenia, owing to increased iodine turnover due to iodine deficiency. Community assessment of iodine status, or we sometimes simply say a goiter survey. Here what we do, we take the urine iodine excretion samples, a well accepted, operationally feasible and a sensitive biochemical indicator is used to assess status of iodine at the population level or at the community level. Ideally, 24 hours urine collection should be done to account for individual and day-to-day variability, but because of the operational feasibility, spot samples are taken regularly. Besides this, WHO has prescribed a set of epidemiological indicators for classifying iodine deficiency disorders as significant public health problems, which include goiter grade, thyroid volume, serum TSH level, and serum thyroglobulin levels. Epidemiological criteria for assessing the severity of iodine deficiency disorders. Here in a given below table, you see we have the indicators. We have 5 indicators. We have a target population, and we assess the severity of public health problem. Either it can be mild, moderate, or severe. In indicators, we have first the Guaita grade, that must be greater than 0. And the target population is school-age children between the age group of 16 to 12 years. If the problem is mild, we have a 5 to 19.9%. If it's moderate, we have 20 to 29.9%. And if it is severe, iodine deficiency disorder, it may be equal or greater than 30%. Second indicator, we have median urine iodine excretion, which we count in micrograms per liter. Here also we have school-age children in the age group of 6 to 12 years. If it's a mild public health problem, we would have 50 to 99%. In moderate, we have 20 to 49%. And if it's severe, we have less than 20. Third indicator is the thyroid volume. Here we count it at 97 percentile by the USG. Here also the target population is school-age children. If it's a mild public health problem, we have 5 to 19.9%. If it's moderate, 20 to 29.9%. Or if it's severe, then it may be equal or greater than 30%. Fourth indicator is the TSH level, which we measure in the neonates. And if the public health problem is mild, it's 10 to 19.9%. In moderate, it's 20 to 39%. And if it's severe, it's equal or greater than 40%. And the last indicator is the median thyroglobulin level we measure. Here the target population are children and adults. And if the public health problem is mild, it's 10 to 19.9%. If it's moderate, 20 to 39%. Or if it is severe, then it's equal or greater than 40%. Before wrapping this session, we must know about the prevention and control of iodine deficiency disorders at the national level. Due to near universal penetration of salt, the most preferred strategy for control of iodine deficiency disorder remains universal iodization of salt. But higher salt intake has been implicated in the pathogenesis of cardiovascular disease. Therefore, an expert consultation in 2007 on salt as a vehicle for fortification concluded that policies for universal iodization of salt are in coherence with that for prevention of cardiovascular disease. Under the Prevention of Food and Adulteration Act 1954, sale of non-iodized salt has been banned by the Government of India since 17th May 2006. As a result, composition of non-iodinated salt has come down to 9%. In addition, 71% has access to iodized salt as reflected by the survey conducted by the United Nations International Children Emergency Fund and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. The recommended adult requirement of iodine is 150 micrograms per person per day. Common salt is fortified with potassium iodate, with iodine content of salt being 30 parts per million at production level and 15 parts per million at the consumption level. In order to provide access of iodized salt to the below poverty line people, Salt Commissionerate has coordinated with state food and civil supplies commissionerates in various states to distribute iodized salt under public distribution system at reasonable rates. In addition to that, double fortified salt, iron plus iodine, to be used in the preparation of midday meals at the school levels. Iodized oil injections have also been used to correct iodine deficiency among pregnant and lactating women in some parts of the Latin America, Africa, and in some parts of the Asian countries also. At the end, I want to conclude that Under the National Iodine Deficiency Disorder Control Program, efforts are being made to increase the uptake of adequately iodinated salt at household level to 100% in order to bring down the prevalence of iodine deficiency to below 5% in the country. For successful implementation of the same, surveys have been conducted to assess the magnitude of iodine deficiency disorder in various districts. In addition, extensive information, education, communication activities have been conducted to create awareness about effects of using iodized salt. With this, I conclude today's presentation, and I hope you would have liked the presentation. Thank you.
Have a nice day.